Hello, my name is Jackson Kincaid, and today I'm going to be presenting my senior capstone project. So my senior capstone project is called Scars of the Past, a look into a new Lake Calumet region future. Before I get started, I'll talk about some of my project stakeholders and key members. My main project stakeholders were the Chicago Parks District and also a senior member of the National Park Service. So my capstone is focused in the southern Cook County, which is just south of Chicago, and I am focusing on this 12 neighborhood region in southern Cook County, located around the Lake Calumet region. So this region of southern Cook County is very important, not only for the people that live there, but also for a lot of the natural systems that inhabit this area. So as you can see on the map on the left-hand side, there is lots of flora and fauna that make this region home, partly due to because there is a large wetland system and lake system and also river system that runs through this area. There's also important habitats as well. So the Lake Calumet region actually is a very important core habitat, but also along the river system, there are important habitat fragments that throughout this project and for future projects, we hope that we can make some of these habitat fragments into future habitat cores and vice versa. This region is also very split up due to both highways, railroads, and industrial corridors that bisect a lot of these communities from not only these natural systems and some of their important park systems, but also just from each other. It is a very hostile region for anybody on foot or on a bike, and there is a transit system that connects some of these regions, but it is very fragmented and doesn't always connect people to the amenities that are needed. On the right hand side, you can see that there's also a large vacancy in landfill population or area acreage in this region. The hope is that some of this vacant land can potentially be reused and acquired in the future to not only add on to some of the park acreage in the future, but also maybe be turned into future commercial and residential housing as well. So that gets us down to kind of the target areas that I'm going to look at further in this project. So when talking to stakeholders, I kind of pitched the idea that there are three main target areas within this project. There's Hegewisch Marsh, which I will go into a lot more detail later, for that is a site that my stakeholders are very interested in, and so therefore I did some site level detailed design later in this project that you'll see. Also the Lake Calumet region as a whole, which includes 6 different parks that the Chicago Park District owns, is a very important region as well. And then also Park 566 and Steelworkers Park that make up the park area on the shoreline. So going into some more analysis of this region, on the far left you can see some flood hazard analysis that using FEMA maps to kind of show that some of these sites are in flood zones, and we just have to be cautious with any built environments or any trail systems that they either need to be water resistant or to not build there at all in the future. The map in the middle is showing that this area is at high risk for not only urban heat island effect, but also respiratory illnesses, and that there is a large activist community in this region as well. So kind of I overlaid these maps and kind of showed that this region is important. There's activism happening in there, and there's also health risks that need to be basically tackled for the future. And then the one on the far right, the map on the far right, is looking at not only vacant lands, but then also core habitats and habitat fragments and overlapping them and kind of highlighting these 3 potential regions that have habitat fragments or cores and a high volume of vacant land to potentially show these regions for future acquisition from not only the Parks Department, but maybe the neighborhoods within this region and private developers as well. These maps here, we're looking at overall connectivity within this region. So the one on the far left is talking about bike connectivity and how we can better get residents and visitors to these sites via bike, because there is some existing bike infrastructure, but it is very fragmented or not safe, and so it needs to be fixed in the future. In the middle, we're looking at pedestrian connectivity. Again, a lot of these neighborhoods are bisected by highways that don't even have sidewalks on some of them. So we need to look at that in the future. And then also transit connection, which does exist in this region, but is very fragmented and doesn't always get us to the core of some of these important park systems that we're trying to enhance. This is just a goal sheet looking at some of the goals for the future, broken down into structural goals, natural goals, social goals. I'll focus mostly on the Hegewisch ones, which include social goals include improving bike infrastructure on Torrance Avenue, which is the only access to the site, natural goals of cleaning up the site and continued remediation of the wetland system, and social goals of improving site identity, interpretive signage, and wayfinding signage, and continue to serve as a destination for passive recreation and education in the region. This is also a framework plan, so you kind of see where some of these goals need to happen on site. I won't linger on this one too much, but it just gives you an idea of where some of the future projects and current projects are going to happen. Now let's focus more in on Hegewisch in particular. Both, like I said, transit, adding a bus stop that's much needed here, also improving bike infrastructure, and especially on Torrance Avenue, like I said, that there needs to be bike lanes and sidewalks added to improve connectivity to the site. Again, this Hegewisch as a whole is a habitat fragment, and it has lots of core wetland systems that need to be protected. And again, right to the east of this site, there is the Hegewisch neighborhood, which is an important feature that I would like this site to kind of serve as a natural amenity for them and as an educational amenity, because there are 3 elementary schools located in that neighborhood. Going into this slide, to the left, you can see some of the Hegewisch ecosystems. Again, there's wetland systems, wet prairies, and forest systems. Also the extensive Hegewisch trail system, which I didn't tamper with much, but just improved upon, that you'll see later. And then some of the activities that I hope to happen here, which include bird watching, school field trips, cleanup days, tree planting, recreational trails, and relaxation stations as well. So going into the master plan here, you can see that the main improvements are a new playground feature that the community and stakeholders mentioned that they wanted, and also improving the trailhead experience by adding shelters, improved signage, and restroom buildings that people can actually come here and feel welcomed and wanting to stay. And the next biggest improvement besides those are paving all the trails with either asphalt main trail, which you can see is labeled as 3, adding boardwalk systems through the wetland systems, and then paving all the other trails in gravel to improve overall accessibility on the site. Here you can see a zoom in of the playground area, where we're using a lot of natural themed playground equipment to fit in with the environment around them, and adding some shade sails and seating areas for the parents and other people to watch their children as they play and enjoy the natural scenic environment around them. Here's a perspective of what that playground system would look like overlooking the marsh here. The main playground equipment here is picked because it kind of mimics the natural beauty around them. Here is the enhanced trailheads experience. As you can see, new bathrooms, new shade structures, and improved interpretive signage and wayfinding signage on site. And to complete this, I, of course, wasn't able to do everything I would want to do on this site, so I'm kind of laying out some future capstone projects that I think both Purdue University students and Chicago Parks Department could do going forward. That being a regional connectivity capstone, a Lake Calumet capstone, and a Park 566 and Steelworkers capstone. So that concludes my capstone presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much.